Class 8, let's continue the chapter number 2, population dynamics. And I request everyone to turn page number 25. Let's start today's class. And in today's class, we'll talk about international migration, internal migration, population dynamics, composition of population, as well as pyramid of population pyramid, right? Okay, let's start. Is migration and population change. So I told you migration means it's a movement of the people in and out of an area. That is migration, right? Now, what is international migration? So international migration means it's a movement of people from one country to another country across the international border, right? We called it international migration. So countries like Australia, USA, Canada, etc. have gained population because of immigrants, because of international migration, right? That means the people who are arriving in these countries from other countries, right? But there are some other countries like Sudan, India, Sri Lanka who are experiencing a loss in population due to immigration. That means the people of Sudan, India, Sri Lanka, they are migrating to those countries, means to America, Canada, Australia for better jobs, for better facilities, and better employment, and many more, right? General, it's a international migration is due to certain reasons, like for better jobs, for better facilities, and better schools, institution for higher educations, and that is from less developed nations to more developed, from developing countries to more or fully developed countries, right, in search of better employment opportunities and high living standard, as I told you earlier also. Now next we have internal migration. So migration, you all know, it's a movement of people from one place to another, but within the country, within the territory of the country. That is internal migration. Internal migration does not have any impact on the size of population because migration is within the country only, right? So within countries, large number of people may move from the rural to urban areas in search of employment, education, and health facilities. This is population composition. Composition of population is a vast field comprising ethnic characteristics, races, tribes, language, religion, literacy, and education, age, sex, economically active population, and many more traits. So, composition of population comprises of these all things, right? The study of composition of population helps us in understanding the social, economic, and demographic structure. So demographic means how many, it's a structure of population, right? So demographic structure of population, it also helps to know how many are males, how many are females, which age group they belong to, and how educated they are, what type of occupations they are employed in, what their income levels and health conditions are. All these things we come to know through the population composition. An interesting way of studying the population composition of a country is a population pyramid, also called as age sex pyramid. So sex means here male and female, or male or female, and age pyramid. Explosion means all of a sudden there was a uh, growth of population, right? So from this 1 billion to, it jumped to 3 billion population, right? So in 2010, less than 45 years later, the population doubled to 6 billion. The main reasons for the growth were, now here the reasons were written for the sudden growth of the population. Number one is better food supplies, availability of health facilities, cheap goods, and other things due to industrialization, which I already told you, right? So, natural growth rate, the difference between the birth rate and a death rate, and the migration are the main factors responsible for the population change of an area. I told you directly, indirectly, the change in the or difference between the birth rate and the death rate, that are the main factors responsible for population change of an area or of a region. Births are generally measured using the birth rate. That means the number of living person or number of births per thousand people, right? So now death are usually measured using the death rate, that is the number of death per thousand people, right? Now next is migration, is the movement of the people in and out of an area, that is migration. The population increase in the world is mainly due to rapid increase in natural growth rate. See this, this is the picture of population pyramid. So in left hand side, it is actually it's a typical it typically consists of bar graph. That means an x-axis showing the number of males and females in a particular populations of 5 years, and in y-axis what is written, in y-axis the age groups are written, right? So in a right hand side, female, it's given of female here, females on the right side, and on the left side male, shown male here, right? And females on the right side, and males are conventionally shown on the left side and female on the right side. Clear? And they may be measured by or as a percentage of the total population. So here age group is written 0 to 4 years, 5 to 9 years, 10 to 14 years, 15 to 19 years, and so on. So this is what, this is a population pyramid. So it is what, it is a graphical illustration which shows the distribution of various age groups in a population. Clear? Okay, now next. Children, I'll tell you the details of this, how the pyramid shows the detail of the population of a country or an area. So this is a pyramid of a place, of a country. Now just see, the base is broad, and when you see at the top is what, it's a narrow towards the top, right? So broad base, that signifies what? Broad base signifies that the birth rate and death rate are high, right? So broad base, and this is because and see the pyramid here, it's tapering towards top. That means it's rapidly narrow towards the top. So this is because of maybe the children are born, and many of them die in their infancy. Infancy means maybe after their birth, or in childhood stage, right? At childhood stage, or relatively few only become adults, and there are only few old people. So this pyramid shows this much of detail of the population of that area, structure of the population of the area. Now next we have, see this pyramid. Now what can you identify from this pyramid? Just see the structure of the pyramid. This is see the top, this is broad, see the bottom base is broad, and the top is gradually not rapidly, but gradually it's tapering, gradually narrow towards the top. So this shows that the death rate is less than the birth rate. The pyramid is broad in the younger age groups because more infants survive to adulthood, right? That is why this type of pyramid forms there. Just look at this pyramid. Can you make or can you identify from this pyramid? So this pyramid shows what? The birth rate is low. So the pyramid will have what? Narrow base, not broad. Narrow base. And this narrow base is that means a low birth shows or indicates very low birth rate or less birth rate, right? And also when you see at the top, this indicates what? This pyramid indicates or shows that decreased death rate allow the number of people to reach old age. Clear? Okay. These type of pyramids, they show or they reveal a number of children below 15 years and also reflect the level of births, as well as death rate also we come to know. So it also tells us about the number of aged people above 60 years, right? And it also tells us how many dependents are there in a country or in a particular area. Clear? Okay. Have rural and urban population. So today 55% of the world's population lives in urban areas. Urban means city area or highly civilized area, right? Advanced, we can say. A proportion that is expected to increase to 68% by 2050. So after 30 years, it is expected that the population, the urban population will be increased from 55 to 68%. Projections show that the urbanization, the gradual shift in residence of the human populations from rural to urban, rural means village, to urban areas, city areas, combined with the overall growth of the world's population could add another 2.5 billion people to urban areas by 2050, with close to 90% of this increase taking place in Asia and Africa, according to a new United Nations report. So according to the United Nations survey and the report, that the 90% will be a population will be only in Asia and African countries, Asian and African countries, right? The urban population of the world has grown rapidly from 751 million in 1950 to 4.2 billion in 2018. Asia, despite its relatively lower level of urbanization, is home to 54% of the world's urban population, followed by Europe and Africa with 13% each. So, if in 100% of population, among that 100% across the globe, 54% of world's population, they live in where? Yes, Asia, right? And 13% in Europe and Africa, 13% of the population, total population. Now, today, the most urbanized regions include Northern America, with a population of 82% of its population living in urban area in 2018. Latin America and the Caribbean, 81%, Europe 74%, and Oceania and 68%. The level of urbanization in Asia is now approximating 50%. In contrast, Africa remains mostly rural. Rural means village, or we can say underdeveloped, right? With 43% of its populations living in urban areas. The total percentage of urban population across the world or across the globe. Clear? Okay, now next is Tokyo is the world's largest city with an agglomeration of 37 million inhabitants. So the population is 37 million, followed by New Delhi with 29 million, Shanghai with 26 million, Mexico City and Sao Paulo with around 22 million inhabitants. Today, Cairo, Mumbai, Beijing, and Dhaka all have close to 20 million inhabitants. By 2020, okay, according to the survey, by 2020, Tokyo's population is projected to begin to decline. Decline means decreasing, right? Decrease in number is shown in Tokyo, while Delhi is projected to continue growing and to become the most populous city in the world around 2028. So, after 8 years, Delhi will become the most populous city in the world. Clear? By 2030s, the world is projected to have 43 megacities with more than 10 million inhabitants. Most of them is developing regions. Developing regions means which is not fully developed nations or regions, right? So by 2030s, the world is projected to have 43 megacities with more than 10 million population, and most of them in developing regions, developing areas. As the world continues to urbanize, sustainable development depends increasingly on the successful management of urban growth, especially in low income and lower middle income countries where the pace of urbanization is projected to be the fastest. So, the main problem of the population growth, the main cause for the population growth is that, especially in the low income and the lower middle income countries, that means developing countries and underdeveloped countries, uh, they are where the pace of urbanization is projected to be the fastest. Many countries will face challenges in meeting the needs of their growing urban populations, including for housing, transportations, energy systems, and other infrastructure, as well as for the employment and basic services such as educations, health, and health care. So many countries here, we are talking about the developing countries and underdeveloped countries. They will face challenges in meeting the needs of their growing urban populations, because um, their population, their most of the people, they are migrating towards the urban areas, right, for better facilities, for better employment, for better living conditions, living standard, better or standard living conditions, right, and for housing, transportations, other infrastructures, for energy systems, and for better educations, better care. All are, they are just for these facilities, all are migrating towards the urban areas. So the conclusion of the chapter is that migration is the main cause for the population change, right? And not only that, birth rate and death rate They are the main factors responsible for population change of an area or of a region, right? So both underpopulation and overpopulation, they both have what? They both have positive as well as negative impacts. Clear? Okay. So that's all for today, children. We'll start with a new chapter in next video. Till then, stay safe, be safe. Thank you.